Hello, everybody. This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank international education and immigration advisor. As always, coming live from Hamilton in New Zealand. It's become a weekly affair for me now to go live on Facebook as well as YouTube, and along with the rest of my wonderful team, which is based in New Zealand, in India, and we have one person working out of Dubai. We are there to answer all your queries and questions, primarily about New Zealand education and migration, because that is what our main focus area is at the moment. But going forward, as I announced in my last live broadcast, we intend to also branch out into other countries and start providing the same amount of information and service that we have been providing for New Zealand over the last many, many years now, 16 years actually, to be precise. So that's my license issued by the government of New Zealand. So that makes me what is called a licensed immigration advisor. And I'm hoping to also get a license to be able to provide immigration advice for Australia. Sometime this year, I intend to acquire that license. And then going forward, I'm also going to look at adding the Canadian license and any other country that uh, has got a licensing regime where people only with a license can be able to provide immigration advice. I intend to get all those licenses and go on to become a global education and immigration advisor. For the time being, our focus is on New Zealand, the country where I live, the country where the company AJB Services is also located. Yeah, this has been our mainstay. We have loved promoting New Zealand for the past many years. My wonderful team and I, we are about 30 people at the moment in these three different countries. So we've had an absolute ball working with smart young people and helping you to attain your goals and dreams of either migrating directly or migrating through the pathway of education. And it's been very joyful to work with a lot of very deserving young people and their families to move to New Zealand. So, as part of our exercise, we are very active online in YouTube, Facebook. We are trying to get started in Twitter. So, we're kind of looking at various things and trying to do a strong digital platform as well. And in the digital world, we get a lot of good feedback, but once in a while, we also get negative feedback. And yesterday, one guy wrote on my YouTube channel saying, people like you make it look very easy for students to move from one country to another. You don't know the kind of troubles we go through. It's very easy for you to sit in your room and go live on Facebook or YouTube and make it look very easy. And I mean, basically, he wrote something to the extent like, "Stop misleading us because you're making money off us," and so on and so forth. Well, I think the one thing that my team and I we have always steadfastly maintained is yes, we are a business. We are not a charity, so we will earn money. We have our families to look after. We have our salaries to be taken care of. So obviously, we are a business. At no point did we deny that. So number one, yes, we are a business, and but we will run this business in a very ethical fashion, in a very clear fashion, and a moral fashion, without giving adverse information or wrong information. And the last thing we will ever say to anyone is to make it look like it is a very easy process to move from country to country and establish yourself. We will never ever say that. In fact, if you go back to my 150 plus videos on YouTube or anywhere else, or in our Facebook group or Facebook page, never ever did we say that it is easy. In fact, we tell you it is very difficult. There is actually a video of mine which says moving to New Zealand or to any other country is not easy, and you need to be very, very well prepared. And that is something, and because it is so difficult, is what where we understand the difficulties of our students, and that is where, and our clients, and that is where we are saying a company like AJV is your best friend, your best bet, because it's not easy. You need somebody to hold your hand and walk with you on the journey. Last evening, for instance, at about 11 o'clock in the night, there was a student of ours who was actually here in Hamilton and who came to study at one of the institutions in Hamilton. He was in a panic and he reached out to my colleague Mary, who also lives in Hamilton, and said, "Hey, look, I have a problem with my institution. I failed one of my papers and my visa is expiring in 1 month's time. What am I supposed to do? I'm in a panic. I don't know what to do. So immediately we guys kicked in. I got involved. Mary got involved. We involved another one of our colleagues who is also based in New Zealand and Hamilton. And then between the three of us, we came out with a solution and told this young man saying, "Don't worry, this is your next course of action, and this is what you've got to do." So there was somebody for him to give advice and help him and soothe him, calm him down, even in the middle of the night. I remember another a student who called me about 4 or 5 months ago, again in the middle of the night because I work late. My students and clients are all aware that they can reach out to me, so they called me, and this guy was in a panic as well, and he said, "You know what? I got caught speeding, and his residency application was in progress, and he was in an absolute panic, saying, what is going to happen to me now because I got speeding? Will it have an adverse effect on my resident visa application?" So I said, "Relax, calm down." So I got onto the computer and I researched the law around immigration and kind of gave him the confidence and assurance, saying, I went into the technical details of the charge by the police and everything, and looked into it and basically assured him that it is all going to settle down. And then once in a while, we get students who tell us, "I'm not able to find a job, help me to do something." So we are networking with them with some of our other known people and associates and things like that. So bottom line, it's not easy, guys, to go to any country and settle down. And that's exactly where we are saying a company like AGV, which is open and honest and committed to your success, is your best bet. So for all you keyboard warriors who sit there and keep writing whatever you feel like, just understand, be a little respectful, and also know that yeah, I mean, by and large, the international education and immigration industry is quite murky. There are a lot of people who don't know what they are talking about, and there are a lot of people who kind of give wrong advice. But that is where you need to approach a professional who's licensed, and the license is not given to every random guy who says, "I want a license." There is a process for this. So you guys need to be a bit smart as well about the choices you make. And as I keep saying, we are a business, and your best bet for your success is to work with a professional company like AJB, which is committed and dedicated. And in doing that, you're successful as an individual seeking life overseas, and we are successful as an organization. So that's how we need to work. And yeah, sure, we are open to adverse feedback. If you guys have really goofed up on certain aspects, please do let us know. But if you're not a client of AJV and you're just sitting somewhere in your room and writing nonsense, quite frankly, we should ignore it. But I thought I'll take this opportunity to talk about it and put it out there, saying that if you're an AJV client, we will respond to you and talk to you and engage with you and give you every possible support practically 24/7. If you're not an AJV student or client and you're just sitting at the back of your room somewhere and cribbing, we can't help you. All the very best. If you want to become our client, reach out to us, pay us money, become our professional client, and we will help you. All right. So yeah, as always, a little speech when I start my live session, because I'm also waiting for the questions to start coming in. And I'm starting with the first question, and some questions have come in. So the first question is from Max Jason, who says, "Hello, sir. I would like to know how many years will it take to get permanent visa in New Zealand?" Max, it is the what you're I think referring to is the permanent resident visa. So what happens is it is a graded process. So you will first need to get the resident visa of New Zealand, and normally after you get a resident visa, in the first 2 years after you get the resident visa, you need to fulfill certain conditions of your commitment in New Zealand, and these conditions are various conditions, but the easiest condition to fulfill is that you need to spend approximately 6 months of time in New Zealand in year one, and 6 months of time in New Zealand in year two, approximately. I think it's about 182 or 183 days. That's what is the legal requirement. So if you get your resident visa and then you spend that amount of time in year one and the same amount of time or more in year two, then you become eligible for something called the permanent resident visa. So the difference between a resident visa and a permanent resident visa: on the resident visa, there is a limit of how long you can enter travel between New Zealand and other countries. and you need to be back here before the expiry of the visa. But a permanent resident visa means basically you are able to enter and depart New Zealand for as long as you like. And normally, after 5 years, after you get your permanent resident visa, or the time you've spent in New Zealand, 5 years, and I think it's from the resident visa onwards, you'll also be able to apply for the citizenship. So that's the way it works. So if you're looking for some advice and services along a resident visa or permanent resident visa, please connect with us or my colleague Mary Joseph, who is also about to get a license like myself, and we'll be able to guide you. All right. Yeah. Cool. Question two. Krishna Prasad asked from YouTube. I'm a recent graduate, completed my Bachelor of Physiotherapy. I would like to study Master of Hospital Administration in New Zealand. Kindly help me out. Hi, Krishna. Thanks for your question, and good question. And I also like the clarity with which you asked that question, because normally people who have a background in physiotherapy want to come and do another course in physiotherapy. And I can tell you from my experience that it's not very easy for physiotherapists, especially from India, to be able to get the registration in New Zealand and be able to practice. So your choice of instead moving into hospital administration is probably a good idea, because if you come for a course in hospital administration, you could not only acquire another area to your health education background, but who knows, while you're present in New Zealand, you might also be able to study the requirements to be able to get your registration as a physiotherapist. Although I've been told it's very difficult, but it's not impossible, it's just very challenging. So, not only can you acquire a degree in hospital administration and create one employment pathway in that direction, but if you are able to, while in New Zealand, if you are able to also get your physiotherapy registration done, you will also be able to look at occupations in that area. We would love to work with you. Looks like you've made a very good choice. In fact, one of our students with who I'm in touch, she came also with a physiotherapy background from India, and she is actually doing a health related course similar to what you have suggested. She's already found a job. And in fact, 2 or 3 days back, she called and she spoke to me and said, hey, look, my company is also planning to give me a hike in my salary. Is there a possibility I can get into my residency? I said, yeah, sure, you can, but finish your course first and then we will go for it. So I think your choice is good, Krishna. So to connect with our team, for all of you who are on YouTube, because there's no way to reach out to you once this session is over, please share your number with my team or inbox it to me, and we will pick it up from there from YouTube. Or just send an email with your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will pick it up from there. And we will definitely like to help you, Krishna. I think your planning is good, and we've already worked with students like this before, so we will share that experience with you. Okay, cool. Max, okay, has repeated this question. Then there is Jayant Sagar from YouTube. Asking what are the new visa changes for students. Jayant, there are no changes yet. It is just, I think I covered this very extensively in my last live session. So whether on YouTube or on Facebook, go back and check my previous live sessions. This is live session number 14. So if you go back to live session number 13 or live session number 12, I have actually spoken very extensively about that student changes, possible changes. There is no change yet at the moment. It's just a request for consultation. So we don't know if it will change or not. But go back to those videos and you will see very clearly everything is explained. All right. But at the moment, no change. It's just a proposal at the moment. Marimutu Kalyana Sundaram from YouTube again says, hi, Arun, could you share the approximately how much expenses for studying postgraduate 1 year course in New Zealand? If I will choose 1 year PG diploma course, then possible to get 3 year post study work visa. Well, Marimutu, the first thing is the cost is tuition fees plus living expenses. Living expenses is fixed at $15,000 per year for international students. So you need to be able to show that amount of money that you have access to, plus your tuition fee. And if you're choosing a postgraduate diploma, by and large, they are all around the 20 to 25,000 New Zealand dollars range. But depending on your course choice, it might be higher or lower. And so that's and once you connect with us, we'll be able to depending on your subject, we can tell you exactly how much it will cost you. And living expenses is $15,000. You don't have to always carry this money with you. You need to be able to show and demonstrate that you have access to these funds. Sometimes the government might say, the immigration department might say, transfer this money to New Zealand, the living expenses, I mean, into something called the FTS account, which is the funds transfer scheme account. So, various possibilities are there. But overall, I think to do a postgraduate diploma in New Zealand, you're looking at around $40,000, including the living expenses. So you need to be prepared for that. And if I complete my PG course in New Zealand, will I get a 3-year post-study work visa? At the moment, current rule as we talk today, the rule is, or the law is, that you'll get a 1-year post-study work visa. Whether you get 3-year post-study work visa or not will depend if they change the rule. If at all that rule changes, and I anticipate that rule to change, if it will change only in the next 3 to 4 months' time. So if it changes, you will get your 3 years work visa. If it doesn't change, you will still get your 1-year work visa. Hope I have answered that. And I also got confirmation from my team that Jayant is one of our AJV students. So thanks for that, Jayant, for choosing to work with us. And like I said, refer back to those videos. And if you're still not able to get the full information, send us a query back and we will respond back to you. AJV students will always get priority responses. I promise you that. And like I told you, I get calls in the middle of the night at 12, 12:30. And, I'm like, okay, let me answer these guys. They need some information. Right. Living for better future. I think that's one of my clients. Says so true. Arun, thanks for that. Appreciate your feedback. Nishita Goli from YouTube asks, hello, sir. I'm done with my bachelor's in dental surgery and want to study PG diploma in public health. I think, Nishita, very similar answer to what I gave to the gentleman before who wanted to do the hospital administration course. I think for you as well, it's a very similar answer because as a dental surgeon who's qualified and you have a bachelor's, it's good to come on a related health related course into New Zealand. While you're here, acquire that degree and also try to see if you can fulfill the requirements to become a dentist in New Zealand. So, do that studies and simultaneously explore the possibility of getting your registration here as well. And if you're able to do it successfully, you'll have two options on your public health side as well as your dental side. So I think it's a good way of planning for people with a health background, because for people who are coming from a health background, direct entry is a little difficult because there is a registration and all the exams and other stuff that you guys need to pass. So it's a very good option to consider coming through the public health pathway, Nishita. So please connect with our team and we'll put in front of you all the different options that are available in public health. And based on that, you could, decide which city or institution you want to go to. All right, cool. Okay. There is Bikash Rai from YouTube asking, hello, sir, how much the food and accommodation cost monthly as a student? I guess it depends on whether you want to stay in a five-star hotel or you want to do flatting, Bikash. But and whether you want to eat in a five-star every day or you want to cook your own food and eat every day. But jokes apart, I think by and large, a student can survive if you're in something called a flatting, where it's one big house and you have one room of your own and there's a common kitchen and some common facilities will be there. So in a situation like that, I think about $250 per week will be a good budget. I think, and if I think that's a good budget. But I've also heard of students surviving on $200 per week. So some of those guys are also managing on that. But I think around $250 to $300 per week will be good for you to budget for, to be able to lead a decent, have a good room, decent room, and take care of your telephone and bus travel and a few other things. So I would say between $250 to $300 per week will be a good one to look at. And because if you're planning to come to New Zealand through AJV, we will also get you in touch with some of our existing students who are constantly always looking to get new flatmates to join them in their flat. So let us know if you're coming to New Zealand as an AGV student, and we will absolutely help you to get hook you up with some of our existing students. All right, cool. Satya Ranjan Satapati asks, hello, sir. I have completed bachelor degree in zoology. I want to do master's degree in it. Can you help, sir? Kindly. Oh, absolutely, Satya Ranjan. Yeah, we would love to work with you. And if you've already done something in zoology, which I think is a good subject, we would love to work with you. And for people with your kind of background, I kind of normally recommend to look at some subjects related to medical laboratory technology, because that's something also that is it's a good technical skill, and it's in decent demand as well in New Zealand. So with your background in zoology and cytology and that kind of stuff, I think it's a good possibility to look at. We would love to work with you because, again, we like to work with all kinds of students, but most countries in the world are looking for students from STEM subjects. As you guys know, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So these are the chosen, so-called wanted students anywhere across the world. So you are obviously from a STEM subject, and we would be delighted to work with you, Satyaranjan. So please connect with our team, and I think the scope for people in science is also pretty good. And like I told you, consider medical laboratory science, because there is, in the skill shortage list, I think there is a medical laboratory scientists are there in the skill shortage area. So that might be an area you might want to look at. But even coming for a course, if not at the master's, at a lower level, you should still be able to get in at the entry level into medical laboratory science. So please do consider it. Okay. And please get in touch with our team, Satya. I think we would be very keen to work with people like yourself. We would also like to work with people who want to choose business and other subjects like 3D animation or aviation or flying or whatever. We would like to work with everybody, but STEM subjects are mostly designated by different governments, including the government of New Zealand, as desirous skills to be attracted into the country. So that's why that little emphasis on science background students. Okay, next question is from Patel, Svetlana. And I just got confirmation, Patel Svetlana, that you're actually you're pursuing your master's from applied science from SIT, and that you're a physiotherapist. Uh, and you're finding it a little difficult to get registration. Said wants to know about PR and registration. If not possible, then look for PG dependent social work. Mm, right. So I'm not clear, Patel, if you're already in New Zealand or you're saying you're currently pursuing masters in applied health. Okay, so you're already in New Zealand, and how much new rules effect of getting PR being here already? Like I said, the new rules are not in place yet. These are all just uh, conjecture. So I don't think there's going to be a large effect till they actually declare those particular rules. So I don't, because you're already in New Zealand, Patel, and your question is not very clear to me. I'm also not able to understand if you are, started the course or not started the course. So I would like to talk. So please inbox your number, Patel Svetlana, and I will get on the phone and I'll speak to you, and then we will take it forward from there. All right. Yeah. Next question, Raquel Azurin Albalos. Hi, sir. I'm a domestic helper here in Malaysia for 3 years now, but of course, I also have other ambition like working in New Zealand. Am I qualified? I mean, at a domestic worker level, Raquel, it is a little difficult because you require certain qualifications and skills that are required in New Zealand. Domestic help, unfortunately, will not fall into that category. So I don't think we'll be able to help too much with you on that. But what I suggest is have a quick chat with our team, share your contact number, and our team will connect with you and see if we can, kind of see if there is some other pathway that we can suggest to you. So that's my best advice at this point, Raquel. Question from Ravi Jaiswar. Hi, Arun. Any other country which offers 1 year course along with post study work visa? When when along with post-study work visa where spouses eligible to stay and work from day one, just like New Zealand offers for level 8. Ravi, to be honest, I'm not an expert in other countries at the moment. I hope to acquire that expertise, but till such a time, I don't think I'll be the right person to answer because I honestly do not know the rules and regulations around other countries. So I don't think I'll be able to answer that question at this point. Patel Svetlana confirms that she's an is an AGV student. My agent in India is Jagruti. Patel, we will definitely connect after this chat and I will talk to you one on one and try to understand what your situation is and I'll give you my answer. Okay. Uh, DMI, RE DMI asks, I'm a civil engineering graduate. What course, along with post-study work visa, where spouses eligible to stay and work from day one? So, uh, okay, just give me a moment, guys. There's someone at oh. Sorry, that door was opening, so I had to go close that. Okay. I'm a civil engineer graduate. What course should I look forward, which is likely to get me into employment? So I think civil engineering is in our long-term skill shortage, Ari, and I think if you're already a civil engineering graduate, I would recommend that you continue to follow in the same area, into the same subject, and because civil engineering is in our long-term skill shortage area, so because of that, I would suggest doing a master's or a graduate diploma might be the best solution for you because civil engineering is in our long-term skill shortage list. So I would suggest, yeah, go for a course in civil engineering because it's in the long-term skill shortage area. Your chances of being able to find employment after you complete the course would also be very high. And based on that, you can take it forward from there. All right. So please do connect with our team. Okay. Okay, Living for a Better Future has given some more feedback about our services. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Okay, Farhan Ali. Guys, are you able to see my video? Because there seems to be some little problem with this at the moment. Team, just confirm to me you are able to see the video.